how much social media output came out of traders.
Social media is not about just seeing with your friends and happy birthdays and what they're eating. Now social media is entertainment.
Taking influencers and now turning them into their own product.
We're kind of getting social media is looking like broadcast TV in the past.
We need more drag queens on traders.
Before, you would binge watch one whole show. Now it's like, I can watch 10 shows and microdramas real quick.
I want more drama.
Welcome to The Intersection.
That's Chris, and I'm Kunal, and today we're talking about
TV
and
social.
And
Seems like social's always involved, right? Can't get away from it.
Can't get away from it. I feel old sometimes. I'm like, I can't get away from social media, man. Right now, I'll be honest, I'm coming hot off of the end of Traders. This season was great. I had a great time watching it. I think everyone... You didn't watch it, did you?
I watched some of it. Homeboy from Florida won, the dude that be picking up. And he was on Snakes and that was on Love Island, right?
Rob.
Yeah. Okay, that's what his name. Rob.
Boy in overalls all the time.
I did watch the last episode.
Overalls, no shirt.
I watched the last episode.
Wait, what? You just watched the last episode?
Oh, I've watched multiple episodes. I'm a fan of the show, but I'm not committed.
I had a Traders chat. I was watching it weekly.
No. So I'm like, I see it on and I watch it and it's in the background. But then, when somebody was like, it's the finale, I'm like, let me watch this.
You guys will check it out.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
He did Eric wrong, but hey, I get it. It's Traders. Do it.
Yeah, I mean...
It's Traders. It's the show going. So
the thing I thought was funny is in the show, he's like, I'm trying to do what's right. It's like, okay, you also doing it for the money.
Clearly. Because if you do it right, you would have left Eric alone. Y'all won. You guys were there.
Yeah. I think the thing that really got me thinking about is how much social media output came out of Traders. Mm-hmm. And speaking of Love Island, I think Love Island USA had a similar ballooning moment where I couldn't escape it in some ways. Like, it was across all social media platforms in terms of the memes that were happening. And also that all the stars were shooting their own content and putting it out. Mm-hmm. And they were engaging with fans. And fans were putting up theories and, analyzing all the little details and even, like, the props and the other thing. And there was, like, Reddit threads and, like, regular threads and people on Twitter. So it brings up a question of, we've seen TV be discussed on social media for years at this point, but are we reaching kind of a new inflection point for how social media gets used by these stars and by these TV shows?
Oh, I definitely think we're at a new page. I think, as you said, like, seeing the people that were on the shows actually see the cuts for the first time too, and be able to give their opinion on it, how the cut was of them with the live audience that were able to have that conversation, I think adds a whole nother dynamic. It's like honestly breaking the fourth wall.
It 100% is. I would say, again, deep in Traders, Mark, Kristen, who were on the show for a really long time, kept putting out like little reaction videos after every episode dropped, and like honestly like really funny things that I'd never heard of these people before this right now. And because Traders is almost like a Avengers moment of reality TV where they bring like some people from Housewives, some people from like Survivor, Kristen was from Top Chef, a couple figure skaters, Love Island stars. It kind of mixes all the fandoms into one pot. And now I'm seeing content from Housewives and people who follow Housewives, which is a huge Bravo brand.
Shout out to Kiana. She always brings up Housewives.
Kiana loves Housewives. We love you, Kiana. We hear you. I have a lot of friends that also watch Housewives.
Yeah.
But now they're seeing people from Love Island, and we're all seeing people from Survivor. And this is Survivor's 50th season. Mm-hmm. Survivor is also like bringing back a bunch of people who've been on Survivor in the past and bringing people in from other places. So I think there is like this kind of Avengers Marvelization of reality TV is creating a ripple across social media.
You know who I want to give a shout out to, low key, that started this, but nobody like paid attention because MTV went to crap. But
Real
the
World
Real
Rules?
Worlds and everybody, they were on that, and
Yeah.
there was a conversation once they started bringing other people from Big Brother and shows that started having. They did not have the huge effect as like Traders or Love Island USA, but I think because they weren't on the station that had that. But like that conversation was already happening, and people were like on social, like happy to hear once somebody got kicked off, what were their thoughts of being in the house and everything.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to see this like full circle as you know. Like I'm even getting involved, like as I wasn't a big fan of Traders, but because I watched a couple episodes of Traders and have friends that are like in other different spaces, I've seen it on my stories. I'm like, oh, what is this? And now I'm in this conversation. I'm like, I don't even watch this show.
But you like have picked it up. I feel the same thing happened with Love Island USA, where across like Twitter and Reddit, like fans had so many theories and so many opinions, and almost this real parasocial like relationship with these people who almost feel like characters at this point, but are real people.
Real people, real lives. It definitely got out of hand with Love Island USA.
It's still going on.
I know. I've made sure to put things on mute because I was like, no more.
Yeah.
I wasn't even that invested from the get go, but like you like a couple of things now, the algorithm switches and everything. Yeah.
I think people used to go on some of these shows to become influencers, but I think the shows are now actually maybe taking influencers and now turning them into their own product for TV.
I'm not the biggest fan of. I still like that regular people should be able to be on shows, and it not should be just a handful of influencers because, as you know, we've been looking up things like influencers are becoming mini celebrities. So it's just like having a celebrity all-star team of when you had a show. It's like I still like the regular person that's from Nebraska. I mean, I think that's why I love Big Brother.
And also next season of Traders will be all regular.
I did see that.
People.
You'll sign up?
I sent in a video.
You sent in a video already?
Yeah, I already submitted a video.
Hey man,
We'll see.
Get my boy on Traders.
I submitted this is a separate comment, but I just said like, hey, we need more drag queens and queer people on Traders. That was mainly my video.
Okay. Shout out to that.
And I'm putting it out here now. We need more drag queens on Traders. I want more drama.
Sounds good. I hope you would not be a trader if you're on Traders. Because
So here's the thing. Everyone in my life always thinks I'm a trader.
That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't. I feel like you would go a little quicker than if you weren't.
I'm generally not a trader or the murderer or the secret bad guy
I know,
in a
but
game.
if you're I feel like if you get in Traders and they put you as a trader, you're for sure the first one I voted out.
Here's the thing.
100%.
I think I'd be voted out first anyway. But
I don't think so. I think you got some. You can make it if you're not a trader.
I don't know. We'll see. But I think that it'll be interesting to see how Traders works and what the social media machine for that looks like.
We're regular.
When it's not like celebrities and influencers and people with a following.
So you know what I think there was
already coming in. Go ahead.
I think they're going to have the people that have past played be the influencers because some of them are already about like how the game is going.
Yeah.
Kind of giving that dialogue.
I think it brings up an interesting question of like what is in some of these contracts. Of whether there is an obligation. I know there's an obligation to not spoil anything, but I wonder if there is obligations for these reality shows to be active on social media.
Definitely.
To help fuel these fires.
I 100% believe there is. Like, social media is where everyone's at. It's where the conversation is at for anything. I think you have to put it in a contract that you have to do a few posts, you know.
You gotta engage.
You gotta engage.
And I think people are more than willing to.
Especially when you start picking up influencers. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the whole point. You pick them up.
You're like, we put you on here to get us eyes.
Yeah.
Do the work. I think the flip side is also true, though. Social media is becoming a lot more like TV.
Social media is not about just seeing with your friends and happy birthdays and what they're eating. Now social media is entertainment. It's where people are going to sit down like it's a TV.
It's full-on shows.
Yeah.
And before it would be like a YouTube video like this would be the full show, like a 20-minute, even like a 40 or 60-minute show. You get it here, a YouTube long format. But we're starting to see vertical shows just take over.
Yeah, the micro dramas.
Microdramas.
I mean,
a drama in 70 parts.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened because of people's attention spans.
Also, I think there is something weirdly satisfying about
They made it
scrolling,
satisfying. They made
right? So
it. They
like,
made it with
there's
the phones have made it where this just
yeah,
feels like comfortable.
they've really put in your minds that this is a pleasurable action.
Yeah, and now what also I think is before, you would binge watch one whole show,
Yeah.
you know. Now it's like, oh, I can watch 10 shows and microdramas real quick. And, also I can go and binge it for 20 minutes and be 20 episodes in and then switch to something else and go 20 episodes in 20 minutes. I think there's some satisfaction for some people of feeling like they've consumed a lot, even though it's a smaller amount of time. And I think it goes back to attention span.
Yeah, I mean, I forget the name of the company that there's a vertical drama company that I think had more monthly active users than Hulu, which is kind of crazy to think about because Hulu is like a huge, well, now that's also been acquired by Disney, huge streaming platform with a lot of content and a lot of popular content. Like has, I think the Kardashians on there, like Family Guy, like
Paradise, the new show.
huge shows are on there, movies are on there. Like you'd think that people would go to it for content, but it's had like there are hundreds of millions of people who are watching a drama just like this.
But yeah, I mean, it's also why we've seen a shift in streamers, like Netflix, moving to bringing on vertical video onto their app.
That was crazy. I
That's
think
coming
they're
later this year, right?
coming out later this year, which I'd love to see how that rolls out because I know Netflix has always tried to do new things with streaming formats. With they had the quiz games.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some of that during the pandemic where you would do the quizzes
Yep.
and compete with your friends. So that was really cool. But maybe this will work. This will require. It'll also push people to download the Netflix app and use that more.
Yeah, which I think goes underused on the phone because a lot of people when they watch it, it's on an iPad or even if they're it's on their TV or if not one of those laptop. Like phone is too small.
Because I think when people are watching things on their phone, they're usually watching TikTok.
They're used to that. They're used to that vertical, not having to go horizontal, and
Yeah.
also not for me sitting there for hours to finish something. And I think if you switch that, now they're in the same as whoop whoop.
Yeah, I think Netflix is trying to compete with that TikTok attention and trying to grab some of that.
I mean, I think it's a pretty perfect timing with how people feel about TikTok and who owns them now. So it's like a perfect time for Netflix to just slide in there, hopefully take away some of that. I mean, they've even been taking, as you've seen, podcasts have
Yeah.
been moving to Netflix. So now to see podcasts maybe and seeing their shorter clips on, vertical and stuff, that's they're getting the battle of with TikTok and Instagram. So I think it's a very good play of how they're doing it.
I think it's good. I think if they're able to somehow separate the vertical content and make that free or cheaper for folks, because the one thing I think that will maybe hurt them in this competition against social media dramas and vertical formats is TikTok's free.
Yeah.
You can log into Instagram. Now, some of these vertical drama sites have subscribers. Those are paid. I think they're in direct competition there. But if Netflix is trying to take away some attention from the social media spaces, they're going to need a free or reduced cost option.
That's true. That is true. I think what's also interesting about these micro dramas is that we're kind of getting social media is looking like broadcast TV in the past.
Yeah, I think also when it comes to ads and marketing, we're already starting to treat it that way. Starbucks, this was 2024. Starbucks did like a Chinese vertical drama that got like 170 million views. I opened a Starbucks in ancient times, I love these kinds of storylines where like someone gets transported to the ancient past, and it's a really popular trope
Okay.
in manga, in wuxia and xianxia, which is like Chinese fiction.
Yeah.
So that trope is really popular. So I think it was really good targeted content. and an audience that really likes the vertical drama format, that they produce like, I don't know, like 17 videos to get 170 million views is
Wow.
huge, especially as Starbucks is not like a super, it doesn't have as big a market share in Starbucks as it does like here. So I think we'll see more brands, we've talked about this before, do storytelling, but I think they'll also do kind of like formatting for this that's a show.
So on that, Crocs.
Yeah.
They promoted it. They said it was coming out. It was a show. I believe it was about Valentine's Day, if I'm correct, where a young girl was in the hallway seeing a guy's Crocs on down and was just like, "Oh, I don't have a Valentine's Day," and put like one of her little what they put on the Crocs, you know what I'm talking about.
I do not. I know what you're talking about.
I don't have
the
any.
little tchotchkes.
Yeah,
there's a word for them.
There's a word for that. I'm sorry.
I'm not a Crocs guy.
Same.
Sorry.
So, but yeah, there's a whole show. They had the cuts and everything. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, dang, this looks good.
Yeah, that's kind of a new wave.
It is. It's very interesting because I enjoy the rollout of it, and I also enjoy that they give it they're doing once a week. I actually don't like that we put everything on streaming right away for most of these. I like the once a week when it's ran like TV. So it kind of gives me that same effect when they're like, "Well, see you next Wednesday." I'm like, cool. Like I got something to look forward to than just being able to binge watch something right there.
It's interesting because like in social media algorithms, the timeline is no longer sequential. It's no longer based on like when things are actually published. So it's hard for me to go to I'm not going to go to a specific like Instagram profile or TikTok account every Wednesday, but it'll show up over time. So I think doing that weekly release is fine because once everything's out, people will then binge as much as they want.
But it's also been good for brands that people have been coming. That's what's been interesting. And I've noticed that kind of like with my niece, because she was honestly one that put me up on one of these micro dramas. I was like, "Have you seen that? That comes out this time."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think that
Okay.
I think it's a difference that we're seeing because I feel like as an older, we're kind of used to like the algorithms here.
Yeah.
I think this is breaking through because I want to be the first to see it and talk with friends. It's like how we used to get back and be like, "I gotta get back." Dragon Ball Z. Pokemon, some show.
I know we're talking about tomorrow. I gotta watch it today.
I want to be the first,
Yeah.
just in case I go outside and somebody's talked about it because we're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is somehow breaking through. I think it's very interesting, but it also allows people, like, if they don't want to, they could pop up anytime.
It'll just
too.
come through
So
any
you
point.
get best of both worlds.
Yeah, I think that is true, and I know that the weekly or semi-weekly releases helped with traders, as we talked about as we were talking about earlier. I think it's also why I like some of the HBO shows, and that have like been able to build up hype. So like The Pitt, or years ago, I guess Game of Thrones. There's a new Game of Thrones out now that I think you're able to build that conversation, and it gives people time to. For TV, it gives people time to post on social. And for these social dramas, it gives people time to talk about it at the playground or the water cooler.
Yeah, with no spoilers.
Yeah.
No real spoilers of the finale and everything. And the Game of Thrones rollout was interesting because they basically had a micro drama with Marshawn Lynch in it.
Yes.
There was a micro drama of that, like going back to somebody coming into a different time. Like that was a mini show to introduce the show, which was very interesting and very perfect timing coming around right before the Super Bowl. Great.
Yeah. So let's do this. Do you have an idea of what the future brings? Like, do you have a prediction on whether one of these platforms does something, or a pitch for what a show you expect to see in the near future?
Ooh, I'm going to go into the sports.
Okay.
And I'm going to go into one of the sports doing micro dramas of like their rivalries. I think the NFL or NBA was both a prime to have the historic and also have the people that can market it and already are like on social media in different ways to create a storyline for their franchises and players moving forward with micro dramas.
I have
Like the Bleacher Report usually does with their animations. I think they take it. but actually have the players.
So I will say, I think there's some great content coming out of sports creators right now. Isn't there a show that follows a team behind the scenes during the season?
During the season, or are you talking about the Netflix special that it wasn't following, but it was following certain players? Or are
Maybe.
or are you talking about Hard Knocks?
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks that happens not the whole season, but happens preseason.
Okay.
Preseason and training camp.
I think maybe something that extends past that would make sense. Do you think it's a microdrama?
I think it's a micro drama, but in a different way. Maybe we're entering, since it's not a micro drama, a micro doc. Yeah,
We're coining terms.
Micro doc.
I like that a lot.
Because I think that's a way that will be interesting and allow people to get in touch. I mean, we kind of already see that. Let's say like the Netflix special that had the NBA players, LeBron James and all that. The cuts, some people were just watching the cuts on social media and were hype. Instead of leading to go to Netflix, maybe that's how Netflix rolls out their vertical and something.
Yeah.
And Netflix, hire us. I'm telling you. I'm talking about this. I'm like, I already got the idea of everything.
Okay, I have one. And it's similar but different. I think you'll see some cookware brand do a like food interview micro show. Because I think those are super popular, where someone's cooking and then they're feeding and then they're talking. There's so many of these. I think you'll get like, here's a quick recipe, and then like a couple questions, and then boom.
I like that. I think there's.
And I honestly think you could see it on Netflix.
I think Netflix is primed to be where it needs to be for this, because they got the money, they got subscribers already. As much as we're saying like we know they need to have a lower, but they have subscribers.
If you're already paying for it and you're getting extra content, you're gonna check it out.
And I think the biggest thing is they also have youth too. A lot of youth watch Netflix. Like, yes, they're on TikTok, but they watch Netflix too.
And also they're on their family accounts.
Exactly. So they might be open to sliding over depending on what type of content, especially if you're taking content away from social media because you're paying these people. Because let's be real, social media, the payout is not always the greatest for certain content creators.
I would love to see, also, speaking of youth and kids, maybe something that's animated.
I love animation.
And just bonkers. But I'm thinking something that's like maybe along the lines of like a Rick and Morty-esque, kind of like just all over the place but condensed.
I see just TV just now becoming, instead of, how we used to say, you'd be like, is it an hour show or is it 30 minutes? Now is it 30 minutes?
30 seconds.
Or is it 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Or is it 60 seconds? Maybe a long version of a minute. or it's like 30 seconds.
It's like a minute 10. It's a long micro show.
A minute and 30 seconds long.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm excited. Look, you have to embrace this change.
I mean,
you can't fight it.
You have to move with how
technology
stories are told.
Moves, yeah. Stories are being told in new ways.
They've been told, yeah.
The microdrama is, I think it's just starting. We're going to see this for the next 4 or 5 years.
I agree with that. You know who I think, just quickly, should be winners in this and should jump on this?
Who?
Writers that write short stories. Like, not just writers that actually, write specifically for TV and everything. Short stories are always broken down that can be digestible in this fashion. I think they can enter into this field
something that we should look into, and maybe we'll come back with a brief update later, is I wonder who's buying up a lot of these like sci-fi short stories and fantasy short stories, because there's a lot of IP that exists that no one's ever touched because of the format.
That'd be interesting. I do know there's a lot of money being thrown out. They forecasted by 2030 there's supposed to be like a $9.3 billion industry. Microdramas.
Okay, enough of this. I'm gonna go write some short stories.
Y'all
won't catch me.
So let's get into it. But hey, you guys, if you're not watching the microdrama, subscribe. Like us on socials, find us on Spotify and Apple,
and maybe write a little short story in the comments. Maybe it gets picked up. Maybe you give us a little bit.
Hey, let's work it out.
Let's talk.
Deuces.